We're live. Let's podcast. Alongside Joe Giglio, I am Joe OVIES. We are not inside the Eford Studios today.
We are downtown, though.
But we always thank Empire Properties. We always thank Copiers Plus. Check them out online at copiers-plus.com. No. We are at Enloe High School ahead of homecoming. They got homecoming tomorrow here at Enloe against Broughton. My kids here at Enloe, Joe.
Yeah.
They're hyped about this, man.
They got 2 wins, too.
They do have 2 wins. We're going to talk to Ryan Clark, the head coach of Enloe, here in a second. We're also going to talk to LeVelle Moton, Enloe legend, who might have the basketball court named after him here relatively soon. But yeah, look, if College Game Day is going to show up to Duke ahead of the Notre Dame game, why can't we have our own game day?
They ain't got nothing on us.
Absolutely not. Are you telling me they're going to have these kind of signs? I don't think so. So I'm going to bring up the second camera here as we go to the double shot. You'll see all the signs behind me. That way everybody can see them. There's a couple back there that you like.
I did. The no cap.
There's a no cap.
No cap. Because they're playing
the caps. That one's always good. What's a cap? There's another one too that apparently Broughton is my base, but I chose Enloe. That was a good sign too. I enjoyed that.
I think we need to talk to the head of the Eagle Club.
Okay, well, tell you what.
So we'll get her.
While I set this up, why don't you go get the Enloe Club?
Okay,
the head of the Enloe Club, says we do a little live chaos here from Enloe High School. So we got a full show. We got a normal show that we're doing today. We're going to have your premature evaluations in just a little bit. We're also going to, again, talk to LeVelle Moton. CamNewton was apparently brutally honest about all things Carolina Panthers and the wide receiver group that he has. And we'll get into all those types of things. But before we do premature evaluations, oh, no, you took that out of there. It's fine. It's fine. This is just hold the microphone and we're good to go. And we'll be fine. So, hi. Hold on a second. Let me turn on your microphone. That would probably be helpful. Hi.
Hi.
So you're the president of the Eagle Club?
I am the president of Eagle Club.
And your name is?
Caitlin Allen.
Hi, Caitlin. So
you're in charge of these signs?
Yep.
Love it.
Y'all are both named Joe?
Yeah,
all the
really
Joes.
Easy.
Cool.
Not that you can hear us. But
yeah, don't worry about us.
We'll talk loud.
Yeah,
don't worry about us. We'll be talking loud for you. All right, so when you play the caps, that's probably the easiest sign to do, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just no cap?
No cap. What's a cap? Capitals. Like, think of something better. What's going on? You know, Eagles is the best. Cap is like the worst. So you go from the best to the worst, and it's like, what's going on?
All right, I'm with it. Are you happy that we got you guys out of class today?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what this is about, right?
Yeah.
Are you pumped for this football season? 2
Yeah.
wins.
Yes. Like
right?
the first game, I was like, are we going to 0-10 again? Like low key. But like, I'm proud. You know, I'm always going to cheer for the Eagles. And then we start winning, and I'm like
Makes
we're winning this year. And we're winning on Friday. So we're going to be 4-2.
All right.
Calling it now.
Are you a State fan?
I'm
because you got to have something in your background to be like, you know what, I'm going to be the president of the Eagle Club, even though we haven't won a football game. Like,
I don't know.
There's a lot of pride
what it
there.
was. I love the Eagles. I think that's all it is.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Are you a senior?
Yes.
All right. What are your big plans? Or is it? I don't mean to put you on the spot.
I've been thinking about State.
Okay.
But I don't know yet. I know I want to teach.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm going to apply to schools and see what happens.
Put the signs on your resume.
Okay,
you can use me as a reference.
Yeah,
I talked to Joe and Joe.
Yeah.
They'll know.
I was going to say, it'll be available on YouTube.
Joe.
You'll be able to see it. And they'll be like, oh, no, she wasn't kidding. She was
my
wrong.
form will just be the link to this.
Perfect.
Caitlin, thanks. Thanks for
No
being
problem.
the
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Thanks. Great. I'll take that. As you know, the card table was not doing what I thought it would do, Joe.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do here is you talk for a second.
Since we're live.
Since we're live, that's
all
the
right.
beauty of live.
You're the technical person.
Yeah, you know, I'm an extra engineer.
What if you're the technical person? What does that make me? Although I think I am the money person, and I think you're going to be really happy.
No,
with,
you are the money person.
I think you're going to be really happy with the golf tournament. The OG Golf Classic is next Friday.
Okay.
All right. We're going to have Sierra Nevada out there. We're going to have Eagle Ridge. We got Tavern on the Green. We got food. We got prizes. We got all the great things. I'm really excited about the first OG Golf Classic.
All right.
Did I waste enough time?
You did waste enough time.
Okay.
Thank you for vamping. You've learned a lot. You've learned a lot in this side of the business. All right. Let's go ahead and give you some premature evaluation. let's get started. NC State versus Louisville Friday, PNC Arena, back-to-back Friday games. I don't want to have a debate about Friday night games or whatever.
Okay.
The spotlight's going to be on the Wolfpack tomorrow. They're coming off a win against Virginia that a lot of fans, as we've discussed this week, made it feel like a loss. And look, Dave Doran did his thing with the whole, like, hey, man, just be happy. I'm going to do my best about not cursing today since we're on a high school campus.
Perfect.
Just be happy we won. If they do
Thank you for reminding me, too, by the way.
If they do the same thing again against Louisville, they win. And it doesn't matter how they win. How salty is Dave going to be?
No, I think it's a different part of the class, right? Because Virginia is the worst team in the ACC.
Yes.
And I think the way that they played in that game is why people reacted the way that they did. I'll say this about Louisville. They're 4-0 in their first year under Jeff Brom. I love their skill players, but they haven't exactly beaten great teams.
Yeah.
So I think if my law kicks in here, I think NC State could win this football game.
Okay. Let's get to the second game. We've got Duke versus Notre Dame. College game day is going to be on campus. They're going to have the chapel in the background. It's going to be a beautiful setup. I'm really,
not
really
as good as this, but
things are going to be tough
there's
to
a
top.
drone.
Oh, wow.
Look, I'm telling you, man, we got everything.
We do have everything here. All right, so here's my thing. I understand that this is not – I heard Chip Patterson the other day, Cover 3 podcast on CBS Sports. You know, the Clemson game was a good showing by Duke fans, but I will be curious as to what kind of home environment we're going to see on Saturday at Wallace Wade Stadium, because we know that Notre Dame fans are just about everywhere. And we saw this at NC State back in 2016. Remember, it was the 50th anniversary of Carter Finley Stadium. They had record season ticket sales, but a good chunk of those were people who were buying ticket plans for the Notre Dame game. Some of them were actually Notre Dame fans. So I am curious about the crowd, but what I'm more curious about is I know what I'm getting at a Duke on Saturday.
Okay.
I don't know what we're going to get out of Notre Dame on Saturday.
Meaning after what they did against Ohio State, can they emotionally bounce back?
Yeah, because they're still processing what happened. I mean, did you catch the part where Marcus Freeman talked about we're never going to have 10 guys on the field again because we put some processes in place? Look, whoa.
Math is hard.
Math shouldn't be that hard, number one. Number two, why are you just thinking about this now? Like, look, I get it. Coaching is hard. The chaos can get to you. We're going to talk to Ryan Clark, head coach of Enloe football, about this on a high school level here soon. But to me, it's like, it's not about process. It's about awareness. And I wonder if they're having like second thoughts throughout the week that maybe it's been distracting against Duke this weekend.
I think if Duke's defense comes out the way that it did against Clemson, flying to the ball, making plays, forcing Notre Dame's offense to make plays down the field, then they're going to have a chance in this football game. If Notre Dame is able to establish that, the front and their run game the way that they do and have been since 2017 against ACC teams, it'll be a long day for Duke. I expect Duke and Mike Elko to have this team emotionally ready.
Yes.
After what we saw in the opener against Clemson, yeah, it can be hard to duplicate that type of effort, but not, it's basically a month since that game. So I would expect Duke to be ready and flying in this one.
I think the way this game is going to go, Duke will actually take a lead at halftime.
Okay.
And from there, it's going to be a test of Duke's strength and conditioning, which has been a big talking point throughout the entirety of this season, really last season. But I think people now paying attention to Duke are seeing just how ready this group is. But what is the one thing that Notre Dame consistently does better than any team in the ACC?
Controls the line of scrimmage, both sides.
Why they've got this win streak against ACC schools. They control the line of scrimmage. It'll be a true test as to see where Duke is in that department. A good milepost for Mike Elko's turnaround at Duke. Speaking of reloading the musket, Clemson played their best game of the year against Florida State.
Oh, that was big. We're still Clemson energy.
And lost.
I know.
And lost. Syracuse is one of those teams that historically has given Clemson some scares and whatnot. I am curious to see where Dabo is on this group, if they can come back and bring that energy after they poured it out and lost against Florida State.
Yeah, I think Clemson's one of those teams statistically that you look at and you go, wow, because they did outgame Duke. Wow, look at what they did against Florida State. At some point, though, your confidence does erode. This is a tough spot with that second loss already. I will give Dabo Swinney credit, though. The last 2 years, they've been out of the either playoff race or the ACC race, and he still has that team fighting.
All right, to the NFL. We're going to talk about the Panthers a little bit later on. They've got Minnesota. They're both winless teams.
Yeah.
Minnesota is on that razor's edge. Sometimes it slices to your win, and you won 11 times like that last year.
Yeah.
Sometimes it slices the other way on that razor's edge, and they've lost a bunch of games. They're both winless. BryceYoung did have full participation in practice yesterday, so I would imagine that BryceYoung is going to play on Sunday. Taking aside the fact of whether or not he should or shouldn't, I mean, we've talked about sitting him until after the bye week and they take on Houston.
Yep.
I think we're going to talk about this a little bit later on because I got some quotes from Frank Reich. He talked about urgency. You should have had urgency from the jump.
Yeah.
He should have urgency in how he wants to go about the games.
0-3, man. They can't get any more urgent than that.
Something's got to give.
A couple of those games in the NFL this week.
Yes,
so.
something's got to give for sure. Housekeeping. All right, so we are broadcasting live from Enloe ahead of homecoming. We've got Broughton here tomorrow. Shout out to the Enloe marching band as well. Caleb is a part of the Enloe marching band. He plays trumpet. They're going to be previewing some of their show at halftime. Although I am going to get, not that I want to start controversy between Coach Ryan Clark and Robert Hunter, the band director, but I am always curious about halftime adjustments when the band won't get off the field. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later on. A couple other things to talk about. We've got Young Gun, new episode, the walkthrough with Dimitri Rouvanos. You can check out Young Gun wherever you get your podcast. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube. Follow us on your favorite podcast platform. We appreciate the 5 stars. We appreciate the reviews. I love screen grabbing those and putting those out on social media. And of course, we have t-shirts as well. I'm rocking an Enloe t-shirt today. You can rock an OVIES GIGLIO t-shirt, which I have one as a special gift here in a second. And you can go to breakingtea.com/OG. That's breakingtea.com/OG to buy your OVIES and GIGLIO t-shirts. Also, shout out to Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority, Joe. Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority.
You don't want to know what side of this rivalry our guy Hayes Lancaster is on, but that's okay.
That's right.
That's okay.
That's right. I forgot that
he's the OG. And if you need to get the bugs out of your house, need to get the bugs out of your yard, go check out bugsbite.com. All kinds of great coupons and offers there because Hayes does such great work, doesn't believe in contracts. The work speaks for itself.
All right, let's talk some more football, but of the high school variety. Enloe head football coach Ryan Clark is joining us here on the Heister Automotive Group Hotline. Thanks for having us out, man.
Oh, no, I really appreciate you guys being out here. It means a lot that you guys would take your time to come to your show out here. We feel we have the best high school in the country, and to highlight it in this kind of capacity is something I can't really put into words, and we really appreciate you all, and thank you for being out here.
So as a little sign of appreciation, we got a OVIES and GIGLIO t-shirt for you.
Appreciate
it's yellow.
It feels like the right color.
It goes with the Enloe green.
Positive vibes only. I'm all for it.
It's all about the positive vibes. All right, so let's actually talk about those vibes.
Yes, sir.
When my older son was at Ligon, it was 2021, 8th grade. He was brought over here with part of the marching band, so he can kind of get a taste of what the marching band was. So I attended a football game, and you had won one game in 2021, your first year.
Yeah.
And last year, being out here for a few games to watch the marching band, you guys came so close, so close. So many times. I saw some really tough turnarounds. But this year, things seem to be clicking. It takes one win to get things going. So from where you got here in 2021 and how things are going right now, what is Enloe football?
Well, Enloe football, to me, is one of the most important things I've been able to experience in my lifetime with my dad being the head coach here and also being an assistant coach here and coaching in total for 20 years previous here. This is really my dream job. So to be here and to try to rebuild this football program is something our school and our community can be proud of is unquestionably one of the greatest highlights of my life. You mentioned the one win we had. It was actually my first game coaching. We beat our rivals, Southeast Raleigh.
Right.
And we struggled the rest of that year. And then last year we had some unfortunate things happen, but I felt toward the second half of the season, especially in conference play, we started turning a corner. And I thought that's really what kind of kicked us into the success we've had this year is kind of see those little glimmers of hope and success last year. And this year, our guys have been committed to working together and building our football program the right way. And this has been a 3-season process, and we're not done yet. We still got a long way to go, but we are extremely excited about the current position we're in.
So I am curious. Enloe is a big school.
Yes, sir.
You got what, over 2,500 kids here,
yeah.
right? And
look at you getting a sir. Ryan,
as if knowing when Ryan graduated from Enloe didn't already make me feel like an old man.
Yeah.
Now getting called sir makes it even better. So you got about 2,600 kids here.
Yes, sir.
Mostly magnet. And I've always wondered, you got all that student population, but the football team has struggled to get traction. So how do you change that? Because you came from Gibbons.
Yes,
You were an assistant coach at Cardinal Gibbons.
Yeah.
I graduated from Cardinal Gibbons in 1997. Now, different situations, private school, different kind of enrollment. Kids who want to play football might want to go there, XYZ. So how do you get that message across of how important football is on the high school level and getting more kids to want to play football here?
I think it comes from all levels. I'm extremely fortunate that we have an administration here, especially our principal, Dr. Jordan, who's extremely supportive of us and believes in our visions and believes in our goals. And she kind of can set the standard for the rest of the school and what's expected of football. And we buy in from the teachers has been great, and they've supported the kids. We have them wear our players' jerseys on Fridays. Our players choose a teacher that they want to have the honor of wearing their game jersey for on the game days. So kind of build that school community. And really, the main thing is our players have kind of created an atmosphere in our locker room that's something everyone wants to be a part of. And every year our numbers grow. When I took over this program in 2021, there was only 30 kids in the entire football program.
Yeah.
And this year we're over 100. So in 2-year span, we've increased it by that much. And that's a credit to our players and our coaching staff for just building the kind of, and it's cliche word, but the culture and the atmosphere within our football program to be a part of it and want to be a part of it. And our school's taken that, and we gave them some success a little bit this year, and our school's really rallied around us, and we're hoping to build on that as we go into homecoming tomorrow night and throughout the rest of our season toward our long-term goals.
What'd you do to celebrate your first win this year?
What did I do to celebrate my first win this year?
There's a smile. Your dad, you said your dad's a coach, man.
I gave my dad a big hug. I shared a hug with my mom and some tears because it's just been a lot of work to get here. And then I just got to spend some time with some of my assistant coaches after the game, got to see my girlfriend after the game. So all those good things to celebrate the people that have been supporting me throughout my lifetime. They were able to be there and celebrate with them. And we've just been able to take that, and we want more of it. We're greedy, and we want more wins like that.
You're like Frank Reich and Dave Doran, though. You've had to deal with some quarterback injuries last year. This year, knock on something.
Yeah, knock on anything. Don't speak that into existence.
Talk about some of the guys who've made a difference for you this year.
Yeah, we're still surprisingly really young. So we have 7 juniors and sophomores that start on our offense and about 6 on defense. So those guys have really done a good job.
We're talking a lot about building cycles.
Yeah, we're building on the right path. Our offensive line on offense has been our best position group, and it's someone we can really rely on. My core values are to run the football and play good defense, and we're going to run the football, and we can't do that without our offensive line, and they all do a great job for us. And then on defense, credit to our coaching staff that has put some players in some good positions for them to be successful. And our defensive line is another strength for us. So we're excited that our best positions are our trenches. And the good thing about them is they're young. So we still have some time to develop and grow as a football program and grow them as people and keep going on the right track.
The lines on this field are immaculate.
They are.
I understand, though, you can't take credit for that. Your dad must be like, man, I didn't have this in my day.
My dad had one of the, like, when I was growing up, they had one of those paint machines you have to use to mix.
Yep.
And like there was only like 2 people that could touch this field, and right now there's only 3 people. It's our AD, one of our assistant coaches, and then if we hire somebody to come do it. And this time it's been such a hectic week, we had to go to a third party, but yeah, painting the lines. It's part of the job, but it's something as a kid. Like I saw more arguments painting the field than I probably saw within a football game.
Although I am curious, you don't have a lot of real estate here in downtown Raleigh, and you got a lot of athletic teams. You got a pretty good soccer team.
Yeah, they're really good.
Shout out to Eli, Caleb's buddy.
Yeah,
who's a goalie for the soccer team. The grass is actually in pretty good shape, all things considered, that you guys are practicing. You've got other sports teams practicing, and you got my kid,
real grass.
Yeah. Doing his thing with the marching band and all the equipment that gets drawn out here. So it's actually all pretty good.
Yeah, people don't understand taking care of stadium fields like this. It's a year-long process.
Yeah,
I mean, our AD, as soon as football season's over, he'll start a process to get it ready for spring.
Yeah.
When spring's over, it's a rush to get everything ready throughout the summer and have men's soccer and football out here in the fall, and then spring sports. I mean, it feels like every night there's something out here competitive. So
Broughton's the homecoming opponent, but you said Southeast Raleigh was the rival?
We had 2. Southeast and Broughton would be our 2 biggest rivals. Yep.
Why not? Well, I mean, I get Broughton. What's up with Southeast? Is it like a magnet
Another magnet
deal?
They're,
Or?
they're a magnet deal, but it's also, I mean, they're 3 miles down the street.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's
our
true.
football players grow up with their football players, and we have that competitive spirit. And like, I'll be honest, we don't like them at all.
Okay.
And but we respect them. But like Enloe and Southeast, we don't get along. Enloe Broughton, we don't get along. Respect goes mutual respect.
Sure.
But we don't
No,
really
no,
care
no,
for
no.
Southeast or Broughton.
It's a common theme on this program. It's the old Jeff Bastelic that he learned from Jordan. You show
Yeah.
respect.
Don't compare me to Jeff as let's not do that.
Wait, where is it?
Earlier, people tell us that you take away those runs, we'll be outscored by 19.
That's right. That's all you got to know.
Yeah.
Well, they already owe you for getting them out of class today. So
Yeah, they do owe me. Our football players, they better give me a good practice today, or we'll have some problems. But
All right, so I am. There's high school news that's been dominating the local headlines, and I'll admit that it's something that just kind of recently came on my radar. And
you got politics.
it's not. I'm just curious how it impacts you.
No,
'cause
I'm saying that politics has entered this conversation.
this conversation.
That's what the change is trying to be.
So I texted our old colleague Nick Stevens over at High School T, James Alverson, who I used to work with.
great people.
Who's part of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. And I just hit him up. I'm like, can you explain, like I'm 5, what's going on here? And I got a basic understanding of what's going on. To Julia's point, politics. For as many times as people want to get on our case about not talking about sports, I'm like, oh, look at this. We have politics involved. I don't want your opinion on that. What I want to know is, on the ground level, how does this impact you? How does this impact the division? How does it impact high school football in particular?
Yeah, I mean, high school football in North Carolina has made so much progress over the past 10, 15 years that things like this concern me, that it's going to halt progress or we're going to change paths. And that always takes time to rebuild whatever path we're going to do. But in my opinion, it's one of those things to where I'd prefer people that have athletic administration backgrounds make decisions on athletic related things.
Makes sense.
And I think we're getting to an area where people that might have their athletic experiences haven't worked on a high school level. So when you set guidelines and ideas for what you want to work toward, you got to have some kind of experience about how to run a high school athletic department in general.
Yeah.
And I mean, we see that a 4A school like us compared to a 1A school in rural North Carolina, we're gonna function different, but we have to move the same direction because we're all one part of one association.
Yeah.
And so it worries me that we're going down a path to where it's going to affect a lot of kids and a lot of people. And I just hope we're making the right decisions for the high school student, because that should be the first priority and the only priority, in my opinion.
Best of luck Friday night. Enjoy it, man. I know you've seen the other side of it, so it's nice to have some success.
It is.
It's nice to celebrate with your family and your pops. Nice to celebrate with your team.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
continued success.
We appreciate you guys being out here.
Yeah.
Go Eagles. Looking forward to a great night game tomorrow night.
All right, Ryan Clark, he's the Enloe football coach. We appreciate his time. And again, if you're watching on YouTube Live, by all means, you can hit the comment section, and we might even get to some Hey Joe. This is your favorite part when we do something live.
Yeah,
we can actually bring up the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
While we do some Hey Joe stuff. I know they brought the eagle head. I was going to say that eagle head's coming for me at some point here, and I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we can get Caleb out here to play a little mixtape. All right, let's take a quick little break here. And we want to shout out Breeze Through. Hit up Breeze Through all across the triangle, all across North Carolina, where there's one right outside PNC Arena that you can go check out. And they got all your tailgate needs. Maybe you're going to that NC State game tomorrow. Hit the Breeze Through on your way. You'll be good to go. Did you get your coffee this morning from Breeze Through?
Dark roast. Yeah, there's one over here on Pool Road.
Yes.
Not too far from here over at Enloe. So.
Not too far. And if you're not going to the game, but you're still trying to do like a tailgate thing, hey, Butcher's Market can help you out. Head on over to your local Butcher's Market. They got locations across the triangle. They also have a location out in Wilmington. They got our friends Groove Wagon available at some of their locations. So you can get
a little 2-for-1.
Yeah, you get yourself a steak and cheese and then chill with some Groove Wagon.
Just relax.
Or get all the tailgate needs there at the Butcher's
Yeah, hot
Market.
dogs for tomorrow night for the tailgate tomorrow night with Rand. I'm excited.
Yeah,
The
that'll
Butcher's
be cool.
Market hot dogs.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. All right, let's keep things moving. Love having an Enloe legend here in the house. It's LeVelle Moton, NC Central head basketball coach. LeVelle, what's up, man?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
It's been a while since
This
we
is
chatted.
crazy right here.
You gotta love this, right?
Yeah, this is nice. Nice.
Now I know you keep up with. I know you keep up with Enloe a lot. Brian was telling me, well, hey, you got the Central Court being named after you here soon, right?
Well,
You're gonna get it here too?
it's supposed to be a surprise, but I think they started here first.
No,
and
no. We like breaking news here on the
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from North Carolina Central. I haven't heard anything about it. I've heard about them, but I haven't heard about North Carolina Central.
All
So
right,
Central, if you're listening, then
Hey man, I just understand that certain courts might be named after you.
yeah, I'll take it.
We see you every day, by the way.
There you go.
On not Dawson, but the
Salisbury. and Hargett.
Salisbury.
Yeah.
You're out the window from our Eford studios.
Man, I get tagged in that 100 times a day from people that walk by, and they tag me like I ain't seen it. Like I seen it a million times.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
for
dope.
you.
It's nice.
From where you're from.
Yeah.
I know you try to claim some Boston in there somewhere, but you grew up here.
Right. Yeah,
This is
home.
your school,
This home.
and to see the way that the community has embraced you has to mean something different to you.
It's dope, man. Man, my story is absolutely crazy. I know tomorrow Enloe plays Broughton, but I think this high school changed my life forever. Because in my neighborhood, all of the basketball legends went here. Although I didn't attend the middle school that all the basketball legends went to because I forged my mom's signature and transferred. So I went to Daniels Middle School. Right. And so the first 2 weeks there, it was like a culture shock. And I was like, Mom, I don't want to go there. She was like, nah, you transferred there, so you're going to finish it out. The feeder school for Daniels was Broughton High School. And so when I came out of Daniels, I was a quarterback too. So it was all these high schools recruiting me. And they basically said, look, you can be quarterback and point. I was small at the time, point guard. And they're like, the ball is yours from day one. And so I had a decision to make. But the only school that never recruited me was Enloe High School. And everyone told me, they like, look, if you go there, man, like it's going to be tough. And you got to run 5 miles a day before practice. I said, what? And I made the decision to come to Enloe because I knew I needed that discipline in my life. And it's the decision that forever changed my life.
All right. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, shall we?
Yes.
It's not pretty, but but they'll find a way. Isn't that what it's all about? Because I know you always do your off-season visit.
Yeah.
You go visit Mike Tomlin and the Steelers.
Right.
And I know you posted.
You're pretty
photos.
cool, but Mike Tomlin's the coolest coach you've ever met, right?
That's my man.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
Yeah,
He's incredible.
but Joe and I sit here and we wonder sometimes, like, how long is Mike Tomlin going to be cool with no offense? I know you talked about.
Don't make him disrespect this guy, man.
I know you talked about that.
Don't make him do it.
Man, it's you know what? It's certainly not the offense that I saw in training camp.
Yeah.
I thought this was the year that we really take our jump. We got some pieces. First 2 games, it was difficult because we played 2 top-notch defenses,
Sure.
so they're not gonna make you look good. Obviously, we could have looked better against them, but I thought Kenny this would be the year where he'd take his sophomore leap
Jump.
and we had Najee in the background. We improved the offensive line. Pickens, I went up to training camp. The first thing Pickens told me, he's like, Coach, you should have recruited me for basketball. And meant every word, right? And so he's making plays and just jumping over people, and he's telling me, I told you should have recruited me for basketball. So he's amazing within itself. I think it's in due time the parts going to start coming together. Our last game against the Raiders, they came together a little bit, right? And so I think we want to peak a little bit later than we do. Right now, I just take the victories and start adding them up. It's best to talk about this after victories than losses.
This is a coach who knows not to. See, he got mad at me when I said Sean Payton never should have insulted Nathaniel Hackett the way that he did. Coaches don't talk about other coaches that way. You don't do that. Come on.
It'll come back around that mountain.
Courtesy.
Yeah, it'll come back around that mountain. And so sometimes you get coaches who think they're so great at what they do that they really controlling this game. And you got to be humble enough to say, look, I can draw whatever on this board, but it takes the athletes and the players to go out here and execute it at any and every level. And if you don't have that little fancy play ain't gonna work. So
All right, to that end, and LeVelle Moton's hanging out with us, NC Central head coach. Enloe legend. I love Dion.
Mhm.
I love what Dion's doing.
Mhm.
I think it's he's brought a lot of casuals into college football, but I can tell that
People are mad.
people get mad at Dion
Yeah.
for doing stuff. He's
Yeah.
essentially brought social media
Yeah.
and the attention economy, which is what college athletics is always
Yeah.
about. I figured you would appreciate this because I know you're active on social media.
Right.
I know that you use your social media platform to
Mhm.
bring attention to Central and what you're trying to build. Dion's doing it on the prime time level. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody knows who Dion
Yeah.
is. What do you think of like the way people have reacted to that attention that he's bringing to Colorado and himself?
You know, I don't think, to be honest, I don't think it's the American way for people to accept anyone that comes across as braggadocious, egotistical, and whatever. Right. I think it's a complete contradiction because they want you to believe in yourself, but if you believe in yourself too much, then they try to humble you, right? And so the world didn't like Muhammad Ali telling you what round he was going to knock you out in, right? And so they don't like Dion flashing his smile and doing what he does. And it's been a multitude of other guys that they really didn't like. But with Dion, I tell people all the time, like, he's been doing that ever since I was introduced to him.
Yeah.
I was probably 12 years old, and I saw Clemson playing Florida State, and I saw this dude walk back and tell the entire stadium to get up because I'm about to run this punt back. And they kicked it, and he did it, right? And so I think guys like that are pretty anointed, right? And I think they know they're anointed. And when I talk to Dion, we have phone conversations like, he really speaks as if he knows God has touched him to do certain things in life. Like, that's his thing. And so he's not going to be humble about it. And I just don't think in the coaching profession, we've had a certain image on the sidelines. And so he's kind of changing that. The same way he changed cornerbacks making money, right? If you're not a quarterback, you have to thank Deion Sanders for getting you money and bringing attention to that. So whatever he's done, he's always made it turn to gold and amplified it much more. And I just don't think it sit well with a whole lot of people.
I'm actually going to bring up a tweet really quick because it actually ties into something you just posted with a graphic.
Mhm.
I got people who love me because I'm me.
Mhm.
I got people who hate me for the same reason. Please understand, I'm completely comfortable with both.
You gotta
Deion's
be
completely comfortable.
You got to be comfortable with both, right? And so he knows what he's doing. And it doesn't matter what he's doing. He's bringing attention and fanfare to College Game Day. So now it's not only benefiting his program, and to be honest, he's really recruiting.
Yeah.
He's just selling it. It's just every time those cameras on him, it's just a commercial for him, right? So it's free advertisement, it's free recruiting to that next recruit that's considering, hey, instead of going to the SEC school, I can make my way to Colorado and go through the same thing. And I think coaches are in fear of that, because if you're a wide receiver, if you're a cornerback, then he's arguably the greatest football player ever. So why not go learn from him as opposed to a coach who's just now doing it and came up through the ranks as a GA?
I'm not saying this because you're sitting across from us. I've made this point before. It's harder to coach MEAC basketball than it is to be Urban Meyer and go to Ohio State or Florida and just have better players.
Yeah.
On a nightly basis, you play against teams who basically have similar talent to you.
Right.
So you got to outcoach some people.
You got to outcoach a whole lot of people.
And I don't think Dion got enough credit. You get enough credit that people are like, hey, this guy, but not enough to be like, LeVelle Moton should get the Georgia Tech job, should get the Wake Forest job, should get the NC State job, right? That gets held against you somehow. And I think, newsflash, you're black. Dion's black, and people don't like some of that. Right? There's
and we've talked about the co-signing in the past. We've had those conversations before, where you need somebody to give you that endorsement, and that becomes kind of a problem.
But I'm not sure he got enough credit at Jackson State.
Yeah,
because they weren't good.
Absolutely
they were not good before he got there.
Absolutely not.
Like it's been a long time since Walter Payton's been
Absolutely
there.
not. And that seems to be the thing with black coaches. It's difficult to coach against the stereotype.
Yeah.
And we all know the stereotype. We know the elephant in the room. Just look at it historically. From HBCU coaches, I think in basketball, only 4 coaches since 1978 have been promoted to a Power 5 job coming from a HBCU. And that was John Chaney, went from Chaney State to Temple. I think Jeff Capel, Sr., went from A&T to Old Dominion. Anthony went from Norfolk State to FIU, and Sean went from Mississippi Valley State to Morehead State. Those are the only ones that I can think of off top, right? And so when you're mentioning black coaches, people they have these undertones associated with it, even on these national platforms, right? Who they have a large following, and they put these undertones out here saying, "Oh, he's just a player's coach,
Sure,
or he's just a motivator, or
rolls the ball out, can recruit."
He can recruit, right?
Yeah.
So much energy and He can really relate to the players, and for so long, that's been our position on staff as an assistant or as a lead recruiter, but whenever they talking about X's and O's and schemes, they don't necessarily give us the credit that we ultimately deserve. And so it's hard to fight against that stereotype. And so, man, I'm here to try to break it.
So LeVelle Moton hanging out with his Central head basketball coach, Enloe legend. We're at Enloe High School for homecoming. Good to bring you back for homecoming, which is awesome. Glad that everything worked out, because we had training camp just opened up, right? For y'all?
Yeah.
Season's just right around the corner.
Yeah.
And I guess, to Joe's point about the MEAC and levels of basketball.
It's a dart throw, man. Every game.
I know
I'm kind of coming about that from a gambling perspective. But the truth of the matter is, you're looking at it, you're going, man, dude.
So
these guys are equal.
What I'm curious about, you've been in the trenches with transfers for a while, and college football coaches are in a constant state of complaining and trying to get guardrails and everything else. Now you're dealing with it on a completely different level, because there's only so many players that you can have on your roster.
Absolutely.
But how do you, from somebody who has lived with transfers, both guys leaving for another program and then having to replace some XYZ, are you comfortable with the current state of things? Are you just used to it by now?
I come from a place, man. I was born in a place where you just had to adjust on the fly, right? Yeah. So I didn't come from utopia where we had an opportunity to be privileged. And like, if you went and looked on top of the refrigerator and it was a loaf of bread up there, and you looked inside the refrigerator, it was some butter, and you looked in the cabinet and you saw some syrup, then your mind said you can make French toast out of that. Most people would complain, ain't nothing to eat in here. I was like, nah, we got some French toast that we're gonna prepare. So
you sound like my 15-year-old. It's like, we just have a bunch of ingredients. You know what you can do with said ingredients,
you can do some things with some ingredients, man. So I just think that's one of the things about coaching, especially in this ever-changing world. You have to be able to evolve. Yeah. Right. So I was heavy in the transfer market when it wasn't popular, and people was criticizing me years ago for that. And the reason I did it was because I was reading Will Smith's book, and in the last year, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, in the last year of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he was offered $1 million per episode, and he turned it down because he wanted to go to the big screen. So he had his manager at the time, Benny Medina, who's the real life Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and he said, man, give me a list of the top 5, top 10 highest grossing movies of all time. And he got him the list, and he studied it the entire summer. And what Will Smith found out from that list was that the highest grossing movies all had something in common. They was like nonfiction. Well, they were sci-fi, nonfiction, and they all had an animal in it. So that prompted him to take Independence Day, right? And so now his movie career catapulted. So when I got this North Carolina Central, we was making the transition from Division II to Division I. The average margin of defeat for us was 41 points a game. We were getting beat by 41 points a game. So it was crazy. So I asked Kyle Server, get me the top 10 MEAC champions of the last 10 years. And I studied it. And what I found out is that the oldest team in the league won it 8 out of the 10 years. Yeah. So my recruiting approach, I could be stubborn and say I'm going to do that, but I had to deal with the facts. So I just started recruiting JUCO guys and heavily, and that's how we've been ultimately successful. I don't want to reveal my secrets, but I think I just did.
Well, I think other coaches.
Is Poobie an Enloe guy?
Poobie?
Yeah.
He followed my footsteps. So it's here, man. It's here.
But to your point about teams being older in college basketball, I mean, we're kind of seeing that now at the Power 5 level too. Teams that are making a run or surprising in the NCAA tournament are these older squads.
I think it's about to fade to black a little bit, because I think what you're seeing is the residue of the COVID and the pandemic.
Yeah, sure.
Where these guys had 5 and 6 years, they 28 years old, and I'm like, good Lord, how do you play basketball? So a lot of programs benefited from COVID. Yeah. So when that happened, the following year, either you had a veteran roster of experience coming back, or you were depleted. And if you were depleted, then you wasn't going to beat the veteran roster. We were depleted at that time because we went through it, and COVID hit us for 69 days. So we should have canceled the season, but I didn't, because we were shooting the ESPN documentary with Chris Paul. So I was like, man, let's just try to get through it. We were awful. Like we had 4 people at practice every day, and it was just bad.
How do you? I was gonna say the names going back to Dion. He's like, when I talked to Dion, you just mentioned Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm.
How's that work? You know somebody who knows somebody. They get on the same page. You get on the radar. You know everybody. I bring up a name and you know it.
But you know what? Like I told somebody this the other day. It's like it's really by happenstance. I met Chris Paul. I'd known Chris since Chris was probably 8 or 9 years old. Right? He just became famous. Mm-hmm. But a very good friend of mine used to date his babysitter. Right? And so I don't want to say the guy. And so we would ride to Winston. He's like, ride to Winston with me. We was probably 18, 19 years old. Yeah. And his babysitter used to keep Chris and CJ. Yeah. And in the room, it would be Chris and CJ. And I was like, I'd play with, what we going to do and that. So I've known Chris since he was actually this tall. Yeah. And then Chris introduced me to Dion. Mm-hmm. So it's the craziest thing. John Calipari introduces me to Mike Tomlin. We just sitting courtside watching a basketball game. Right. And I had on a Steelers hat or something. And Cal was like, I'm from Pittsburgh. I said, I didn't know Cal was from Pittsburgh. And he said, man, you and Mike y'all would make great friends. So he called Mike, and Mike was like, man, I already know who you are. You need to get up here, man. I've been following you and that. And so we've talked, and now our family's going on vacation together. So it's always been happenstance. It ain't been, I got this.
Don't sell yourself.
This halo over my head.
Yeah. Come on now.
Don't sell your personality.
Although, you mentioned that documentary with Chris Paul. What has inspired Chris to tell these stories? Because he's been very active in getting these stories told. People are like, oh, he's a Wake Forest guy, but he is elevating HBCUs. Yeah. Why? His entire family attended HBCUs. His mom, his father, his brother, right? And then he was surrounded. So, he's in Winston. So he spent a lot of time on Winston-Salem campus in the days of big house games. And so he understands that impact. And culturally, he attended basically every homecoming from Winston, even though he chose, to go to to go to Wake Forest. I think what happens with every basketball player that I know, when they get to 30 years old, it's almost like a revelation comes about, right? It's like a light bulb goes off. They're mature enough to understand the dynamics, and they probably made decisions that they thought was best for them, and in a lot of cases it was, but they feel like they were just treated as just they were a basketball player and they didn't get the ultimate college experience, right? And so they recognize you at these Power 5 universities if your jersey's in the rafters. If not, then you didn't get into college life. And I think Chris understands that. So he just sought out to tell a story, right? And he's one of those creative dudes. He was the president of student council and stuff like that. So he's always had hobbies and other interests. And I just thought film and television was one of those things where he wanted to gravitate. And so what better story to tell than the HBCUs?
Before we let you get out of here, what road trip are you looking forward to this season with your Eagles?
We start off with Kansas. So
nice.
I don't know if I'm looking forward to it right now.
They should be preseason number 1 or
number
2.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure at all. So we got 5 guys out due to injury right now. So I ain't looking forward to nothing. I'm not even looking forward to practice tomorrow right now until these guys get healthy. But it'll be great, with Coach Self. And, him and I got a great relationship. And it's actually for the John McClendon game, right? And so McClendon had ties to Kansas before he came down to North Carolina Central. And, me and Coach been talking ever since I connected him with a kid down here, Devontae Graham. And
we've heard of him.
Yeah. And so
speaking of Broughton.
Yeah, Broughton. From my neighborhood too. So shout out to Tay. And he's always been grateful. So he was like, man, we got to play. And I was like, okay, let's do it. I thought they were losing a lot to the transfer portal, so I said, let's play. So we signed the contract, and then they go get Hunter Dixon the next day. I'm like, hold on, man. We got to breach this contract next year or something. But I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm always up for those challenges, and, what better way to test your team than walking
anytime, anywhere, man.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk, Lawrence, Kansas, right?
That's what it's all about. LeVelle, man, appreciate the time.
Man, you guys are the best. Thank you for having me.
All right, that's LeVelle Moton here hanging out at Enloe. You can just go ahead and put the mic down. I put that thing on mute. Let's get to some ads. LeVelle Moton trying to dap me up, and I'm the worst dapper of all time. It really is. It really is a problem. As I'm doing things live here, hold on a second. There we go. I have to bring these. Bear with me, folks.
It's okay.
Joe is trying to console me as I'm doing things live here on YouTube. We usually do live to tape, but I'm outside my environment, so things are thrown off just a smidge. So let's talk about State Farm. You need a little coverage. I need a little coverage right
Security.
now. I need a nice security blanket, an insurance blanket to feel good about myself. Maybe Matt Davis has some branded State Farm blankets.
He absolutely does. He's got tumblers. He's got koozies. He's got blankets. Matt's got a great business, and he's going to help you take care of all of your insurance needs. Go to theoginsurance.com, and you'll be taken care of. Just like our guy Troy, saving 40%. Now, I can't promise everyone's going to save 40%, but all you got to do, give him a shout, give him a call, give him that number, because I can't read to save my life.
919-779-8277, insuregarner.com, or the OG.
Give him a call and figure out how he can save you money. He's there for you.
Also, Homefield, check him out, homefieldapparel.com. Use that promo code OG23. Again, that's OG23 to save 15% off your order. And Homefield's got a new NC State shirt coming out. They got these mini collections that they're dropping like once a day.
The 70s were an interesting time
in
Raleigh.
They really were. So at 10 o'clock tomorrow, 10 o'clock Friday, they've got a new mini drop. They got this ringer tee where it's like Tuffy. I don't know. Is he hitchhiking in this thing?
There's a lot of hitchhiking 60s, 70s vibes.
Well, shout out to Jeremy Markovich, NC Rabbit Hole. He recently did a story. He had a newsletter about these stickers that were not officially licensed. And I'm pretty sure that that's where this design kind of came from. One of these like weird, I have it in the building.
Yeah.
So I think that's where that t-shirt came from. I'm gonna have to hit up Home Field to see where exactly that came from. I might buy it. It's so weird that I might actually do it.
You know what you need to do? Use the code OG23, get yourself 15% off. And you know what happens with Home Field? You're going to get all kinds of offers and discounts after you make that initial purchase.
I absolutely love that LeVelle Moton is hanging out in the background of the shot, getting his picture taken with everything else. I do love that. We are going to do Mixtape. So I just got to make sure that I can get Caleb, because I'm going to have Caleb play Mixtape.
Your son?
Yes.
The oldest son.
He's my oldest son, and he's going to be he's in the marching band. So okay. I just got to go grab him. So I don't know. We'll try to make that happen. Can you get Caleb, my son? He's in the back corner with the soccer guys, so I would appreciate that. Get him bring down, so he's going to play Mixtape. In the meantime,
okay,
let's talk a little Panthers, shall we? All right. So Frank Reich met with the media yesterday and talked about BryceYoung. He had full participation in practice yesterday. My guess is if he's a full participant, then there's
full participation on a Wednesday. That would
tell me he's going to start. Here's Reich on what's up with BryceYoung.
He's made good progress. I think he feels better, but there's nothing like getting out in the field. I know he tested it a little bit yesterday he did some things, but there's nothing like getting out on the field and, going through a practice. And so, we'll get him out there, and credit to Bryce for being ready. I mean, really at the beginning we were thinking 1 to 2 weeks, thinking it could be more too, but he's done everything he can do to get back here. So he obviously wants to be out there. We want him out there, as long as he's ready to go and play winning football. And so we'll see what he can get done out there today, and then see how he responds to it, and then know more tomorrow.
So that's Frank Reich, head coach, Carolina Panthers. He said we'll know more when he gets out there tomorrow. That obviously was from yesterday. Again, full participant in practice. They're going up against
going against a terrible Minnesota defense.
But
why not?
The problem is they were going up against a depleted defense in Seattle, and they still had a hard time moving the ball. And that would be my concern going forward. It's not a gimme. Knowing what we know from the Carolina Panthers so far, nothing is a gimme at this point. And at 0-3, it's getting real right now. And Frank Reich was actually asked about that, a sense of urgency.
Hey, this urgency that we're talking at 0-3, this isn't a new theme. Like, we've been talking about urgency since training camp. And a little bit of that is just as a coaching staff, knowing it always comes down, not 0-3. You're not thinking you're going to start out 0-3, but that's what we need to feel. When you have that 0-0, 1-0 mentality, You need to feel urgency every day, every week, and don't fall into the trap of the routine and a long season. You know, we have to have the urgency. And then all of a sudden you're 0-3. That's like throwing gas on the fire. You know, we already feel the urgency. This is what I hope it is. We're already feel urgency, but now there's a little gas on the fire. And so we have to respond accordingly.
How coach speaky was that, Joe?
That was awesome. Gas on the fire.
The thing that I want people to understand, and I think we're finally getting around to it, is that this Carolina Panthers team is not what the most optimistic view in the summertime would lead you to believe. And now that we've seen them play 3 regular season games, and it's entirely possible they start the year out 0-4, that's the only way we can talk about BryceYoung is honestly, what group is he with, right? What kind of wide receivers is he working with? What's the situation on the offensive line? And nobody wants to hear pundits talk about it, which is why I loved that CamNewton, former quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, went on with former Seattle Seahawk KJ Wright and talked about the current state of the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to play this clip that was on social media, and I want people to pay really close attention to what CamNewton has to say about the group BryceYoung is working with.
Tell me, what you saying with your squad right now?
I believe in Bryce, but I think you have to raise him with care. A person like Bryce could be scarred, just like any other quarterback could be scarred if thrown to the wolves too early. Hell, you had a perfect example of this. Russell Wilson came into a system that he inherited. He inherited a good situation. We all know anytime you're the first pick, that means you're going to a shit team. Peyton Manning went through it. All the number 1 picks went through it. But I think when you're dealing with a talent like BryceYoung, it's the long tenure rather than right now success.
Look at your roster. You had your year 2011. You had future Hall of Famer Steve Smith. You had Gio, D'Angelo Williams. When you look at Bryce, does he have somewhat of enough around him? Not even close.
No. I see the receiver skill set. Yes. You see the Thielen, you see Clark, but from top to bottom for him, it's not set up for him to be successful, especially not his rookie year. Everything that Carolina is and building, will they get to that point? Yes. But right now, throwing, him into the wolves, and expecting instant success, that's not the quarterback position, unfortunately.
So that was CamNewton with KJ Wright, former Seattle Seahawk, on his podcast. And he didn't even let KJ Wright finish his question about the wide receiver group or what BryceYoung has around him. He just straight up said no. And I'm glad he put it that way, because I think hopefully people will see what Cam's saying. It's not bitter. Cam loves the Panthers. He's just straight up saying, nah.
Yeah, this is the gift of the Magi. They had to give away Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore to get BryceYoung. And the 2 players that can help BryceYoung the most right now are DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey.
Can they get it in the draft, though? Can they make a free agent splash? Do they have those things?
I feel like they're going to have to make a free agent
splash.
That's
where it's going to have to be.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to have to be. Let's thank Hometown Realty for sponsoring OVIES GIGLIO, as we're broadcasting live from Enloe. If you're looking to buy a house, and I see lots of for sale signs in this area, because this area in Raleigh is really on the way up. Hometown Realty can help you out in that regard. So check them out, myhtr.com. They make it dead simple for you to understand.
I was going to say, you know me, I don't like to overcomplicate things.
No, you
when
don't.
There's a toggle literally in the middle of the screen that says buy or sell. And also, don't sell yourself short if you're the seller.
No.
Okay?
No. Don't take
one of these nonsense offers that you see from France or Germany. No, don't do that.
We'll give you this money right now.
Yes.
Well, why are you?
Well,
wait,
go
why are you
check
so
out Hometown Realty. It's myhtr.com. Also, fiddle around with that mortgage calculator, man. Make you smarter.
And speaking of buying a house, maybe you need to close on a refinance, the house itself. Whitaker and Hamer can take care of that. We're going to talk to Whitaker and Hamer next week, I think, because I want to get into those IRS implications of selling tickets.
Apparently, I got to shut down my side business here now. So I got to make sure.
Isn't that how we paid for all of our equipment?
I think so.
The side hustle,
the resell,
the side hustle of selling tickets and everything like that. So again, go check them out online. Whitaker and Hamer.
WH.lawyer, man. Come on.
Lawyer.
They're so smart. They got the best URL going.
I do love that. Okay, so we're still going to do Mixtape.
We need more OVIES.
Yes, who needs more? We have my son, Caleb.
Everyone.
Hanging out. Hi, Caleb. How are you, man? Let's pick up the microphone. How are you?
I'm good.
All right, so you're in the marching band. You play trumpet. How do you feel about your show so far?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
We're gonna see something new on Friday night.
You might.
How did you react to Enloe's first win?
I wasn't there.
Oh no!
Yeah, I wasn't there.
So here's this is where now Caleb will appreciate this. What does Abuelo love to talk about? The cursing, the jinxing. You have not attended a game in which they've won.
Yeah, I have not.
So if this were Pio, he would tell you you're the reason why they don't win football games.
Yeah.
So should we get you out here Friday or not?
Absolutely.
No, I think Mr. Hunter.
Break it, man. Come on.
I think Mr. Hunter would not appreciate that. All right, you want to play? You want to play Mixtape?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you familiar with Mixtape? Oh, wait, real quick question. How many people back here even know what we do?
I don't even know. Yeah, some people know. I know some people know.
Do you know what I do?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes I wonder.
The youths are in a podcast, Joe.
So I have heard. You know what I discovered today, by the way?
What?
I had a mild freak out today because I went onto our YouTube page to set things up, and it had like 67 videos hidden, and I couldn't access them.
Did you get demonetized?
No. Look where I'm plugged in. I'm on the school network. I got firewalled. So I'm serious. Like, I was like literally freaking
Panicking.
out. Like, Joe saw me. He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, where'd all our videos go?
Well,
They wouldn't let me
like
access.
everything, yeah.
Everything was blocked.
Yeah.
How do you get around that?
Can't tell.
I mean, a VPN.
Do I just go to cell phone? Take it off the Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's the easiest way.
Is that how you goof off in school? You go off the Wi-Fi?
You can't there's like data blockers.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Out here, probably you could. But like inside the school, you can't do shit.
Oh, Caleb.
What?
He knows there's no FCC rules.
What?
Warms my heart. It warms my heart that you cursed on the podcast.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, it's
I'm
perfectly
sorry.
fine. It just means that when I go to YouTube, I have to mark is there inappropriate language,
Oh.
mild inappropriate language from my son. All right, let's do OG Mixtape. This is from Stacy Graphics House. We don't have the rights to play the music. You can hear, right? You can hear the headphones? You
Yeah.
have the headphones turned
You
on?
go
Yeah.
country here, or you go on the other one?
We're going to go all over.
Okay.
We're going to all over. All right, so Stacy's going to read the lyrics.
Uh-huh.
If you know the song, just tell me what it is. For you, I'll let you give me an artist.
All right.
An artist. Because I know you don't name names of songs unless they're Deftones songs or Tame Impala songs.
Okay.
But it's not Tame Impala, it's not Deftones. So here we go.
It's like I'm 17 again, peach fuzz on my face, looking on the case, trying to find a hella taste. Oh my God, I'm on the chase. Chevy, it's getting kind of heavy. Relevant, selling it. Dipping away, time keeps slipping away. Zipping the safe, flipping for pay. Tipping like I'm dripping in paint.
All right, give me an artist.
Dude, I have no clue. I have no
If
idea.
I go to the chorus, maybe.
Let's see if Mr. Joe does the
maybe,
chorus.
maybe.
So what? We get drunk.
Okay,
So what?
I
We
know
smoke weed.
I know the song. I just couldn't tell you
What's the name
who
of the song?
it is, who it's by.
Living young and wild
By who?
and free. And Snoop and Wiz Khalifa.
Oh, okay. I know the song. I know the song.
I know where we messed up. We should have had Stacy do Playboy Cardi.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Or-
the only
or Tyler,
modern
the
artist I
Creator.
have her doing is Morgan Wallen, because
That's
she's
true,
from East
but you don't
Tennessee.
listen to country.
No.
He's my boy. He does not do country. All right, Caleb, are you glad we got you out of class?
Absolutely, yeah.
What are you missing right now, anyway?
Music theory and lunch now.
Oh, but I like music
Oh.
theory. Oh, go get lunch
Yeah.
I mean,
because
I don't even-
I'm pretty sure we ran out of Elios. So
No, we got one more.
we got one more. Okay,
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Seriously, he gets home. It's 3:30. He's cooking up an Elio.
It's time.
Well, I got rehearsal. So
Oh yeah, that's right. You do have rehearsal.
I forgot my water bottle and shorts. So yeah.
I know what you're doing after the show, especially since we're live.
Come on, man. Really?
Especially since
Really?
we're live today.
All right, you gotta stay hydrated. I'll go get you your water bottle and stuff like that.
And my shorts. They're on my bed.
No, you're gonna go sweat in your jeans.
Okay.
At some point, you gotta learn your lesson. All right. All right, man. Get out of here. Love you. Bye.
Love you too.
Sirens are coming for you.
All right. Let's where are we? I'm completely discombobulated.
Okay.
Let's do
We're gonna get out of here on some Hey Joe.
we're gonna get out of here on some Hey Joe questions.
Yeah.
Thanks to Anthony over at Oakwood Pizza
Yeah,
Box.
speaking of pizza,
if
Go
you're
to
listening,
oakwoodpizzabox.com.
which, by the way, if you're listening on the podcast version, little bit of a programming change. On Thursdays now, we are going to include Picks and Pizza on the main podcast.
Okay.
So Thursdays are going to be mega shows where we just do like a normal show like we typically do. And then at the end, we're going to add on Picks and Pizza, where Anthony's going to have some NFL picks. Josh Goodson.
RTP Mortgage.
From RTP Mortgage. He's going to hang out.
Yeah.
And he's going to do some college picks. So all that's going to be coming your way here in a little bit. So because we are doing this live on YouTube.
Oh, we got
today,
comments.
We have comments that we can show. Shout out to Jason, who pointed out that Enloe has 3 wins. Yes, you're absolutely correct. I totally understood that.
Oh yeah, you got the mascot head too.
Oh yeah, we're gonna close out on that. We've got what classes are they missing? I don't know what half these kids are missing. Although I found out with Caleb that he is missing music theory. And then what else we got here? Here we go. From Keenan. Duke and Notre Dame is going to be defined by a very small margin. I actually agree with that statement. I do agree with that statement. And let's see, we got Ryan. Clearly, we got some Enloe parents out here. Oh no, this is Enloe staff. Although, hey Ryan, shouldn't you be teaching right now? shout out to Ryan who's watching this while we're doing the show. And yes, soccer is undefeated and ranked number 3 in the state. That's very, very awesome. Back to Jason. Ryan Clark, the reason the team's culture is so welcoming. Yeah, look, talking to Ryan Clark earlier about Enloe football. Gotta love that. From Deborah, Coach Clark is the real deal. He truly cares about all the students. Go Eagles. We got Will Taylor who wants us to come out to Sanderson. Do we have any connection to Sanderson?
I don't know if we have Sanderson.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I'm already in trouble with my Garner people, so that's going to have to be the next stop.
From M. Davis, like father, like son when it came to the cursing. Yeah, that is true. That is true. From Justin, hey, Joe, after Matt Rule's interview last week about praying with the players, is he the football equivalent to Michael Scott? You know what? He kind of is. He kind of is
authentic New York slice
in that super problematic episode that you're referencing. Yes, he kind of is like that. And back to Jason. All guests should sign off. Love you too. Yes, I don't know, but we'll see if that happens. Anyway, thanks to everybody who was listening today. And I think before we get out of here, we're going to close it out on one thing. If we're going to do like the full game day experience,
oh yeah,
Joe,
yeah.
Don't we have to go full?
You're
game
in charge.
day?
Yes.
Where's the eagle head?
It's right in front of you.
Hand me the eagle head here. I'm gonna take this off.
You probably should take your glasses off.
I'm gonna take my glasses off. Here we go.
All right, you have to stand up and face the crowd too.
You good? You good?
We did it. We did it.
All right, on that note, let's close out the show.
Go Eagles.